Come on.
Greetings, children. My name is Linda, and I want to tell you a story. This story happened long ago and far away, and children, this story is true. Now, this is the story of a man who lived a very long time ago. Very long time ago. And God spoke to this man. And God said something incredible. God said, Jonah! That's his name. Jonah, go to the city of Nineveh. Tell everyone I love them. And Jonah said, no, never. I'm not going there, God. He said, those people don't like you and they won't like me. I'm not going. But he realized that was probably not going to work. So then he came up with another idea. He thought, I will run away from God. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. Now, children, that was a very silly thing to think, but it was even sillier for Jonah because, you see, there were beautiful promises written. And Jonah had read these promises where God spoke. And God said so plainly, if you go to the top of the mountain, he said, I am there. So that means that if Jonah ran and hid on the top of the mountain, God could still find him. I don't think he's going to be able to hide. And then those same verses, those same beautiful words, they said something else where God spoke and God said, if you go to the bottom of the sea, I am there. In other words, you can't hide from me, Jonah. You can't hide from God. But you see, Jonah didn't care. He was afraid. And all he could think about was his fear. And so he came up with what he thought was a great idea. Even though he knew better, he said, well, I'm just going to run away. Now, children, he did live a long time ago, so he might have dressed differently than you and I. But sometimes we're just like Jonah. God talks to us and we say, nope, not listening, I'm out of here. And that's what Jonah did. So Jonah started to run, and Jonah ran, and he ran, and he ran, and he ran some more, and then he ran some more, and then he said, okay, all right, I'm out of breath. I need to stop and see if there isn't some place here that I can hide. And he looked around, and nope, not working. But then he had a good idea. At least he thought it was a good idea. You see, he had run so far, he had run all the way to the sea. So he started looking around at all the different boats that he could see. And he thought, you know, if I'm going to run away from God, I need to get further away from here. So he saw this nice little boat. He thought, all right, that'll work. Yes. No, it won't go far enough. It won't work. But then he saw another boat, and this boat was bigger. And he thought, all right, now that's the boat for me. I'll get in that boat and God will be able to find me. It's not big enough. But then he saw a great big boat. This boat was so big, it does not fit on my page. And so Jonah got in that boat, and he thought only one thing. He said, yes, I will run away from God. And away the ship went. Now Jonah thought, I'm really sleepy. So he went to the bottom of the boat, and he went sound asleep. And he started to snore. Can you snore? Let me hear it one more time. That's very good, children. Well, while he was asleep in the bottom of the boat, outside, things began to change. That beautiful blue sky, it disappeared. The sun went away. And in its place was a very cloudy, very stormy, very scary day. Now, the rest of the people on the boat were not asleep, and they saw the clouds get darker and darker, and then they saw the waves rise up and begin to pound the boat, and they felt the boat moving under their feet. And they thought, oh, this is bad. This is terrible. And they could think of only one thing to say. Yeah! Can you scream with me, children? Yeah! They were terrified. Now, as the waves got bigger and bigger, the little boat was really not so big. And the little boat was in big, big trouble. And after a while, the captain went to the bottom of the boat and he said, "Wake up, Jonah! We're gonna die!" And Jonah came to the top of the boat and he looked around and he couldn't believe what he saw. Because when he'd gone to sleep, the sun was shining. It was a beautiful day. But now, the waves were so big, and the wind was blowing, and it was so loud. And then he saw that the lightning was flashing across the sky, and he heard the thunder roar. And he heard the people screaming, "Yeah!" And then he said, "This is my fault. I was running away from God. He's found me." Children, God always knew where Jonah was. Jonah just didn't know that God knew. God knows everything. So, Jonah said to people, "You need to throw me out of the boat." And they didn't really want to do it, but the boat was moving and things were looking bad and there was all that thunder. So they said, "Okay." And they threw him out of the boat. And children, he sailed through the air. He said, "Ah!" He didn't know what to do. Now, children, as soon as he was out of the boat, the sun came out. It was an absolutely beautiful day. And the people on the boat sailed away. But children, you didn't look fast enough. They already sailed off my page. Now, things were not so good for Jonah, because here he was. You know, he had sunk into the water. But children, God always has a plan. And God had a plan for Jonah, because he sent a great big fish to swallow Jonah. Well, let me just say, being swallowed by a great big fish is not a great way to start your day or end your day. So here was Jonah swallowed by this great big fish. Now, children, being swallowed by a big fish is bad, but maybe you don't know much about what it's like. Let me show you. You see, children, let's see. There we go, children. We need to give him an eye. Let's put a window in this boat. Yeah, and then you can see inside. And inside, you'll see that it's very dark. Poor Jonah, he was sitting in the dark, and oh, the smell. The smell was terrible. It was all gushy and mushy and horrible, and Jonah didn't know at all what to do. So he got down on his knees and he called out to God. And he said, "God, please, please help me. I'll go where you want me to go. I'll do what you want me to do, but please, God, get me out of this fish." Children, God heard his prayer. You know, children, God will always hear our prayer. He listens to everything you say, everything I say. He cares about us. So God spoke to the fish. Now, the fish listened much better than Jonah had listened, because God told the fish, swim toward shore. And he swam, and he swam, and he swam, and he swam. And when he got very near the shore, something wonderful happened. Wait, hold on, let me get it for you. Here's the shore. Now you're probably wondering where this place is. I'll show you, because you see there is a sign here to tell us exactly where this is. Now, children, this is written in an ancient dialect that you probably can't read, but it says, hey, Nineveh is right over there. But you see, guys, the fish, when he swam, and he swam, and he spit Jonah out of his mouth, and Jonah sailed through the air. Yeah! And he came to Nineveh. Now, Nineveh was that great big city, and he didn't like it, and he didn't care about him. But now God had changed his heart. And he went to the city of Nineveh, and he told them that God loves you, that God cares about you, that you are important to God. Children, that's what I want to say to you today. I want you to know that God cares about you, that God sees you. He knows your names, that he knows everything, and he loves you. He loved those people in Nineveh even when they didn't love him. He loved them anyway. Children, that's the way it is with you and I. Even when we don't know God, or maybe we don't care about him, maybe we say bad things about him, it doesn't matter, because he sees us. He cares for us, and he knows our names. And if you want to know God, if you want to be a friend of God, if you want to be someone who doesn't run away from God, but someone who listens to God, then you need to do this. Ask God to forgive you. Ask Jesus to rescue you. And then Jesus will become your king. He will help you know which way to go, what to do. And God will become your Father. And children, God is a good Father. He keeps every promise. He will take away your fear. He will give you hope. He will give you love. He will change you from the inside out. And then you will be a friend of God. Children, I love this story of Jonah because he teaches me that I don't want to run away from God. I hope you won't want to run away from God. So I want you to remember this, children. I want to show you something really cool. I want you to know that you are more precious to God than stones like this. Most people would think this is true treasure. They would think this is the thing to seek. But the truth is, stuff like this, it's not treasure. God looks at you and says, you are treasure to me. And children, we need to look at Jesus and see him for the wonderful treasure that he is. Thank you, children.